Travis Hartman.
To it, I got Nelson Lopez Jr., who is Global Combat Collective. Are you the promoter, CEO? What are you of that?
Look, I'm promoter and owner. Come on, promoter, owner. I'm the owner, CEO, promoter. I don't know,
You got
cut
all
man.
the
I don't know,
hats.
whatever you want to call it. I got a really
Nelson
good team,
Lopez
bro.
Jr.
Go ahead.
This is Nelson Lopez Jr. And I had to interrupt him real quick. Like, hey, we need to start recording because we were having a conversation off air. Then I was like, we need to talk about this. So minus all this stuff, as you can see, he's back there because he has Deontay Wilder fighting on Friday, June 27th, I believe that is, on Friday on BLK Prime, part of Global Combat Collective in Wichita, Kansas. But I want to back up. We were just talking about you tried to start up a McDonald's. How did that? Tell me that story. I mean, that's super interesting. That's why I wanted to start recording because I was like, what?
The thing is that where I grew up in a real small town, a little town called Pahokee, Florida. It's an agricultural town. You know, I come from a family of immigrants. My mother came as a nurse. Well, came to study nursing, and that was where it led her to, was that little town, to work in a hospital that just opened there. My dad came to work in the field, or my grandparents came to work in the field in this small town. So all my life, I've always been like, I'm bringing something to Pahokee. I'm gonna build something in Pahokee. So the first thing I was able to build was my gym. You know, the gym was an awesome camp. We had like everybody from Team Freedom there, everyone from like Emmanuel Augustus, Stevie Ford, Mauricio Pastrana, Santiago Samania. We had some guys, a lot of guys. They were all like South American guys that were good fighters that got the opportunities, and sometimes you got beat up, and sometimes they, last minute replacements. But we made money, we provided opportunities, and we always came prepared to win. It was always we were there to take that last minute fight.
Yeah.
But that small town, with that being said, we just didn't have anything, like no eateries there. I'm like, you know what? How can I open up a McDonald's? How can I open up a Burger King? Just I wanted to do that, and when I started looking into it, I had people that were willing to invest. I had the location, everything. I had friends that owned a couple of McDonald's for recommendation. Can't do it. Doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world, you can't do it. You have to be eligible to own that franchise. You have to have worked every single job in that restaurant. That's like a requirement.
Wow.
And in the boxing world, I've done it. I've worked every single job, because in boxing, everyone knows it. One job doesn't pay the bill.
That's right.
Doesn't pay the bill. You got to do them all, And
that's the
pretty
ugly
much
truth
what I
about
did.
boxing.
I wasn't doing it to try to, you can make a lot of money, but if you're just working, you'll make a living, but you're not going to get rich. The only people getting rich in boxing, he's a really, really well promoted fighter, with great viewership. But at the same time, you need the real good promoter.
Yep.
With the relationship and partnership with the really, really, really economically advanced network.
Yeah.
And then, you form a partnership, and you're on top, like the top ranks of the world, with ESPN, the Eddie Hearns and Matchrooms of the world, with the Zone, the Al Haymans back in the day that had the ESPN and the Fox and the Spike TV and
the premier boxing
Bounce
champions.
TV. You made it. You made some money there. You made some
I
good money
did.
there.
Luckily I was in on that little run up of the PBC and the Al Heyman money that was coming out, and that was that was a good time for boxing.
Yeah, and not just I mean, I was blessed to be in that little run too, and it was a good 5-6 year run.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how long it was going to last, but I learned so much. I'm so thankful for all of the people that put me on, and I can say, like, the John Beninattis of the world, the Marshall Kaufmans, Sylvia Brown, Brad Owens, the Louis the Cuba Jr. You know, those guys, I can't forget Tom Brown,
Yeah.
Brittany Goosen. Like those people put me on, man. They gave me a lot of work. I did good work, you know.
Hmm.
You know, even Bruce Trampler, you know, Bob Arum, Brad Goodman,
Goodman. Yeah.
Eric Goodman, Robert Diaz, Eric Gomez.
Roberto Diaz. He was on the
Yeah.
show not too long ago.
And those guys they really gave me an opportunity. I did good work. I was reliable. You know, I wasn't, I was just, I was clear and open, an open book, and I was delivering, you know, fighters that they needed, and I was providing a service. And through that providing a service, I was like, you know, how can I advance? How can I make more money? How can I put, you know, my team together to really take on this job or this business and to be successful? And little by little, I did gather my team. You know, with that, I taught my one of my really close. He's like a brother to me, like a son to me. G the cut man, G Perez. You know, taught him how to wrap hands, how to do cuts. You know, my
Yeah.
boy Eddie Ramirez. You know, those boys rolled with me. So now it got to the point where I had a little team that if a promoter wanted to come in town, I said, you know, Nelson's gonna match it. He's gonna make sure he got cut man in the back to wrap it. He's gonna have drivers to pick up people from the airport. And I just kept growing and kept growing. And now here I am doing Deontay Wilder's Legacy Reloaded, man. It's
That's
people don't understand, bro. People don't understand that I didn't just jump up and pull, you know, a couple $1 million out the bank and say, hey, here, Deontay, come fight for me.
yeah.
It ain't even about that. Deontay's a good dude, man. Deontay's a good
Yeah.
guy. And you know, he also has felt the wrath of boxing industry.
Yeah.
Even though he's made money,
Yeah.
even though there's things that's happened in his career that he's like, man, some of these people are not that nice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So here we are now.
That's the beauty and the beast of boxing. I mean, there's a lot of beauty to it too, but there's also, I mean, the behind the scenes. The first thing when I turned pro, man, did I get a rude awakening. I was just like, it's more of a business than it is a sport. And pro boxing to me was more of a business than a sport. Obviously, the sport is there. Clearly, like, if you're good, you're good. But gosh dang, man, there's so many things business wise that
But
just get thrown in there.
Travis, you can be good if you're not the chosen one. You could be a very good B-side 500 record opponent.
Yeah.
You know, how many great fighters you know that could really be greater than some
Yeah.
of the chosen ones that
Yeah.
have been put on in the big lights and the big stages.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like Kansas. It's like right here in Wichita. You know, there's talent here.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple good talent, a couple
You got the
pillars
bronze
here.
medalist that came right out of there, Nico Hernandez.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, my biggest professional win as a pro came in Wichita, Kansas.
Come on. Who?
I
Would you beat
knocked
up?
out Ahmad Chico. I know you remember that guy. Do you remember that guy at
Yeah.
all? Yes. Such a mouthy mother effer. And this dude, like, you know me too. Like, I'm not mouthy. Like, first of all, I show up to fights with like 5 days notice of training for one. But him, I had
You never got a fair shake anyway.
yeah, I had 11 days for him, even 11 days. And I was in Hawaii with my wife, our girlfriend at the time was in Hawaii, and they called me and I was like, yeah, I'll fight him. Of course I said yes, but I started training then, cardio wise and
Yeah.
all that. I'm doing shadow boxing on the tennis court because my wife's a professional tennis player. So I'm shadow boxing on a tennis court. I didn't spar. I didn't hit the mitts. I didn't even hit a heavy bag. And I come to Wichita, Kansas, and I knock him out in the 5th round. And
Amazing.
the press conference there, he was so mouthy. The long story short of it all, he was very mouthy and like just very cocky. And I was just like, dude, you're kind of a piece of garbage. He mouthed off to my dad even. And my dad's like 55 years old. And I was like, you're kind of a piece of garbage.
Hey, hold on.
I knocked him out.
That's close to my age. That's not that old.
No, my dad's 64 now. At the time, he was like 55. But that's so right too. I'm getting up there in age now too, and I'm just like, man, I used to think 40 was really old, and I'm like, it's not old at all.
No,
It
man,
really isn't, man.
40's the new 30, man. Come on.
Man, I like it. So this more about you, man. This is what's
Yeah,
really cool is like I've known you for I don't know what 10, 15 years, probably 15 at least, I bet.
at
And
least.
fighting on one of those Warriors boxing cards, one of those Al Heyman cards, which is kind of
Yeah,
funny. Do you know where Al Heyman got his funding from? It came from Kansas. Waddell and Reed out of Kansas. That's
it's
where he got that big, huge, like 500 million or something
there's a
crazy.
lot of money. There's a lot of money here.
There
So
is, man.
people are questioning me why I'm here, but no one questioned Al Heyman why he was here.
Yeah. He got the money from there. So
So
it's pretty cool,
maybe I
man.
got
This is
something.
this is Deontay Wilder. So what I read, if I'm not wrong here, did you sign him to a 3-fight contract? Is that what you guys are planning? Is 3 fights with him, or did you do a contract or a fight by fight basis, or can you even release that?
I mean, look, I really don't like to lock anybody down. I just feel like if I do my job, and I perform the way you expected, like we'll stay in business.
Yeah.
If you see everything that I did and how far I went out to make sure you succeeded and looked good and I went out my way and you move on without me, that's fine too.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there are 3 fights that we want to kind of complete. Yes, we've talked about it.
Hmm.
Yes, we're planning on the next one, but I just been focusing on really like what we have up front. And not to count out Tyrrell Herndon. He's a man. He's a heavyweight division. He's a big, healthy, strong man as well.
Yeah.
I don't count anybody out, especially in this game.
Yep.
Especially in heavyweight division.
Yep.
He, if you can look everywhere you want, Tyrrell Herndon was the best candidate for this job,
Hmm.
and you're going to see the best version of Tyrrell Herndon. Um, I would move forward with either one of those guys. I
Yeah.
like Nick Herndon, well spoken, positive guy, and I kind of like almost like living through both of them. Herndon is like he's about to fight someone he idolized.
Former
Someone,
heavyweight champion of the world. Like,
yeah, someone that he would take pictures with when he saw him, and was like, I met Wilder, and he's about to step in the ring with him. Like I'm like, wow, what is that feeling like? That's
yeah, that's pretty
amazing,
cool.
right? He already won.
Yeah.
He already won.
Yeah.
And he's gonna perform to his fullest. He's not laying down. His family is here. His peers are watching. His coaches have put so much time. It's an opportunity, and you're gonna see the best version of him. And
I
Deontay
love that. That's how
Wilder,
you get the best fights.
that's how you get the best fight. So yeah, they judge you off of this person you fought and that person you fought. No one's talking about how Bud Crawford didn't put an A-class performance in his last 154 debut.
Yeah.
But everyone's feeling that Bud can do something to
Yeah.
Canelo,
Yeah.
right? So why judge a man like Tyrrell Herndon with a great opportunity in front of him, and you're judging him off past performances?
Yeah.
Give him a chance. Let's be positive and let's see a great fight. On another page, Deontay Wilder feels rejuvenated. He's been through some damaging situations. He's been through injuries. He's been through even personal probably roadblocks,
Yeah.
and he feels that he's centered himself and he's on the right path, and he's fully ready to engage. So I think you're going to see a great fight come June 27th, and I'm a fan. When the bell rings, I'm zoned in. I'm right there by the ring,
Man,
and
you
I'm
never know with
excited.
heavyweights.
No, I'm still. People are saying, "Hey man, you're doing Deontay Wilder's fight." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I am. That's cool. It's crazy."
That's what I was gonna say next. Was just that was listen. I wasn't, and I hope that Hernan doesn't know that I was trying to look over him at all. By no
No,
means, because I've been on that side for sure. Not in a fight
yeah, of
this
course.
magnitude, but I've been on that side. I mean, I fought Keith Thurman, I fought Terrence Crawford, I
Hmm.
fought Chavez Jr., I fought Paez Jr., I fought Jesse Vargas. I mean, I've been on that side. I get it. I do.
Yeah,
But business wise, I get it. You guys for sure linked up with with Deontay Wilder because you feel that he does have a future with a couple more fights left in him. You do feel like he's got that
Absolutely.
talent to be able to
Absolutely.
possibly regain the heavyweight championship of the world, right?
Absolutely.
So that was
Absolutely.
my question: is how did you come about approaching Deontay Wilder? How did that whole thing even come together and mesh together? Like, you know what? I want to get with Deontay Wilder because I just read where he's not with his trainer anymore. I know that like his fiance after his last fight, she pieced out on him too. There was a bunch of stuff personally in his life that, you know, kind of just fell apart.
Yeah.
But sometimes when things fall apart, other things fall together. Are you his falling together part of all that business thing?
Um, I mean, saying it like that, you know, and you know me, right? In the business, I've always been a facilitator. Hey Nelson, could you find a venue?
Yeah.
I got a venue. Can you find a ring? Can you find an opponent? Can you find a production company? Do you have people that have lights? And that's the way it really came about. You know, I know Jay from Sky Promotions, which has been with Deontay since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Shelly's been with Deontay since the amateur. Shelly Finkel's been with Deontay since
Mm-hmm.
the amateur. Um, and it was just basically, you know, do you have any of these missing parts that we need? And I said, guys, if you want, I can probably provide all of those, facilitate all of those needs. And I have a license,
Yeah.
promotional license. I just did the first all women's card in the United States. This will be very meaningful to me to do this fight. And they're like, well, this is what we want.
Nelson's
This
our
is how,
guy.
yeah, this is how we want to move. And I said, what happened before with BLK Prime? Is that okay? Is that real? Is that not? They're like, look, it just didn't work out. And I said, okay, what do I have to do to proceed? And say, put this in escrow. And I said, yes, sir. You know, I said, yes, sir, Mr. Finkel. It'll be in escrow on Monday. He didn't believe me. It was an escrow on Monday.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And now here we are. Weigh-ins are tomorrow, Thursday. We're
Not
probably
even
gonna
a
post this on
contract. Not
Thursday.
even a contract was signed. I just told my attorney, I'm putting this in escrow. Show it to Mr. Shelley Finkel.
I love
And
that.
we said, okay, these guys are serious.
You know what? Those contracts are as good as the paper they're written on at the end of the
Oh
day.
man, for
And
real.
I've found that out later on in life too, in a bad way. Not a bad way, but like in a real estate deal where
Yeah.
that paper, it doesn't matter. You can be correct and you can be on the right end of it. But guess what? You got to pay money to enforce that. You got to take it to the courts. And even then, it's just garbage, right? Do
Yeah.
business with people that you can do a handshake deal with. I like that about you, Nelson, because you can and you're honest. And that's why people want to work with you. And that's why in the boxing game, it's a rarity. And I hate to say
Yeah.
that because this is a sport I love and I care about very much still, but it is a rarity to see really
Yeah.
good, honest dudes. And I consider you one of those guys. And it's a pleasure that you came on the podcast here. I appreciate you coming on. I hope you're here in Orlando sometime. We could do it in the studio, which is awesome. I got a cool studio there now. But I appreciate you coming on.
I gotta just give me an excuse to bring the kids to the Carib
Let's go.
Royale.
Disney World.
Amari always hooks it up, and they love the Pink Hotel.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you got to come back down here. So hopefully, you know what? Who knows? I mean, listen, I'm not saying this guy is big time boxer, but he's a
Yeah.
big time seller as Jake Paul. Jake Paul fought at the
Yeah.
Crib Royale, man. Like he sold that place out and he's a big seller. And he did a live gate. He set the record for the live gate in Orlando, Florida. He beat out Miguel Cotto.
That's awesome, bro.
And Miguel Cotto fought at the Amway. At the time, it was called the Amway. It had over 10,000 people there. Jake Paul set the live gate record with 4,200 people.
That's cool. So
insane. Awesome. Like this guy is selling like crazy. But I only brought it up because we're talking about the Crib Royale. But back on to Deontay Wilder now. So not looking past Herndon at all. But let's say that he wins. Let's say hypothetical. He wins this fight. What's the landscape of Deontay Wilder look like this next couple of fights? He beats Herndon. Let's say that it's a phenomenal fight. It's a phenomenal win. He looks phenomenal. He looks like the Deontay Wilder that we all know. What's the next step?
You know, it's crazy because now that when I see things in a different light, right? You're looking at this in the eyes of the promoter, right? I'll say, you know, if Deontay blasts him in 3-4 rounds, that's cool. You know, I mean, then everyone says, that was going to happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
If Herndon goes 10 rounds. Deontay is getting tired, and he just happens to drop him one time, and he wins a decision or knocks out Deontay. They're gonna say,
He's done.
you fought a washed up Deontay, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's an awesome fight, like a back and forth, and it's an amazing fight, and Herndon shows up, and Deontay has to push a little bit hard, and it goes for 10 rounds. But Herndon got dropped a couple times, and it's clear that Deontay won, but he had to fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty much perfect for me.
Yeah.
Because it shows, then everyone forgets about the negative part. It shows the grit that Herndon showed. Herndon proved that he could sit in there with a Deontay Wilder fight. And Deontay showed a little bit of rust that makes him vulnerable to the guys that are still shaking in their boots because that right hand is a rocket.
Still.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up a lot of more doors in that situation. Right?
Yep.
So let's just say Deontay wins. I think he deserves another fight, kind of the same magnitude, you know. Maybe overseas, maybe bring him overseas to like showcase him somewhere else, not to Las Vegas, not to New York, not to Miami. Let's go overseas, or let's go to another country. You know what I mean? To
the
give him
UK, Dave Allen is over there.
Hey, listen, let's go do something over there. Let's get him paid again, and win that, and then let's talk to do the AJ fight. You know, let's do that. You know what? Honestly, if in the perfect world, if that were to go down like that, and I would be able to do the AJ fight, I would sign the AJ fight immediately for 2 fights. Mandatory rematch clause, just because it's UK versus USA, and just because it's gonna be a amazing fight, the first one, and we have to see it again, no matter who wins. And if you got 2 up on Deontay, you move forward. But if Deontay has 2 up on you, we move forward.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I mean, that's amazing.
That's a dream for me.
Who says it can't happen? You got to put it out there. I mean, you're putting it out there right now.
I mean, listen,
like, let's get it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, I hope it happens that way.
I mean, listen, Deontay's been through all of that. I mean, the guy's been through ups and downs all over the place. I met Deontay when I fought Keith Thurman out in, I think it was Arizona on ESPN2. And they actually made me and Thurman the co-main event over Deontay Wilder without even telling me. I took the fight on short notice, like, oh, all of a sudden, guess what? You're co-main event for TV. I'm like, I didn't sign a contract for that. I have 5 days notice. But I got to meet Deontay out there when he was on his come up. I think he was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8-0, something like that. And I got a picture with him. He was such a super nice guy. It was early on. Yeah. We even became friends on Facebook. We chatted back and forth. He commented on some of my photos. We talked about playing basketball one-on-one. I don't know if he remembers this or not, but we never played because I can play. And we've never played one-on-one. So I think eventually I'm going to have to lock him into that. Huh?
You're that ringer on the court.
Oh yeah, I don't look like it. That's boxing too. Like I don't look like I can box. Like I've always been that guy that doesn't look like he can do what he can do.
It might be the lack of melatonin.
Yes, I've heard that a couple different times too. You don't see too many white boys out there that can ball, which also leads me to that. Terrence Crawford, he's agreed to come back on the podcast with me too, and that's my next thing. I told him, I was like, listen, I want a rematch, not in the boxing ring because that hurt. I didn't like that very much. I go, but let's do a rematch on the basketball court. And Crawford can actually play too, though.
Yeah, he can play. I love basketball. I played basketball all my life. Like that's all I did. It was I was like,
I love that.
And I wasn't that I was good. I was only just hustled because I was training for boxing. So my footwork and my hands, they couldn't believe my feet because I jumped.
Because of boxing, yep.
Nobody jumps rope no more.
Yep.
None of these kids jump rope, and I still go to the gym and I jump rope, and my feet and my hands were fast, and they just couldn't believe my big self was moving like that. And it didn't matter if I could shoot or not. It was just like, yo, this guy's moving.
Yeah.
And I love basketball. I love that. I'm Filipino too. Like who a Filipino doesn't like basketball?
Right. I mean, that's Manny Pacquiao. He loves it. He's coming
I
back
love
here
it.
too. I do. You're so right, man. It ended up doubling as my road work because everybody, I don't know if everybody, but I hated road work.
Me too.
So I would play
I play
basketball and
basketball all
so
day.
fun, right? It was like you're doing sprints in there too, like off and on
That's
sprints,
all
and
I
like,
did,
but you don't
bro.
think about it.
That's all I did. Go to the hood and play basketball. And you know what I did when I used to play basketball? I act like I couldn't speak English. It eliminated
Yeah.
a lot of the arguments.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I speak. No. I don't speak English. No.
No, no, no habla
And that's
inglés.
it. And then all the brothers that were playing with me, they would talk crap for me. Yo,
Yeah. Yeah.
Chico just shook you down. Oh, he just, and I didn't have to talk anything. I was like cool with everybody. My brother would die. He would die. I don't know how you do that. 100% didn't speak any English.
So you've always been a smart dude, man. You've always been a guy who knows how to get around in certain instances, including the business world. Have you been? It sounds like you've been an entrepreneur like mind all the way from the very beginning because you wanted to open up a McDonald's in this town that you lived in that was in the middle of nowhere. When you say
I
small
know.
town, by the way, how big? What was the population of that town? Do you
Bro,
know about what it
small.
was?
6,000 people.
So you know where I grew up?
Where?
Osborne, Missouri, population 400.
Well,
I
that's not so
graduated
much.
with
Like
15 people in my graduating class.
that's way. I mean, it feels like
6,000 is huge
400.
to me.
400, it feels like 400. But yeah, 400, I mean, that's small.
Yeah.
That's basically like all your cousins.
Yeah.
And
We all used to joke like they counted the cats and the dogs and like all the cows in that town too because I was like I know
oh,
like 200 people. I didn't know 400 people. I knew like 200 people.
that's crazy. It's like you live there and your Facebook says 399 people.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
your
I mo-
Instagram says 399.
I moved away so it was 400 now it's 399. You know what though? What I find about that is and I think this is what people say about me too for the most part at least is that when you grow up in a small town like you did, I think it does make you more grounded and more personable because
Yeah,
you were held accountable in those small towns. I think when you're in a
right.
big city, sometimes you can blend in and you can do kind of whatever you want. You can be
Yeah,
stupid, you can lie, you can deceive because it doesn't come back around. But in a
true.
small town, it does. You can't do certain things in a small town
That's
because it's going
true.
to come back around.
That's
So
true.
I think I don't know, but I hope that's what molded me too, because everybody used to be like, I don't like living in a small town because everybody knows what you're doing. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
what are
like
you
yeah, that's
doing?
how I
Like,
feel.
I mean, I was a kid still, but I didn't do like dumb stuff. Like I did some just
Yeah,
kid stuff, but like I wasn't doing terrible things like robbing people and stealing and lying and stuff like
yeah,
that. So I'm just like, I love living in a small town, and I believe that's what
I
made
do
me who I
too.
am today.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I never thought about it like that. 100%. I like the fact my town is a real community.
Mhm.
Whether you might not like somebody, but I know that my son can ride his bike downtown, and everyone goes, "Hey,
Yep.
that's Nelson's boy,"
Yep.
and
I love
I'm the
that.
only I'm the only boxing gym there, so like, hey, he's the guy with the boxing gym. Oh, that's Nelson. Hey. Like I can't go anywhere, and it's a great. And then I used to fight. I was the only kid that boxed in my town, and I had the boxing gym. So when I went to like the nationals and I came home, I was a champ. It didn't matter whether I
Yeah.
lost or won. It didn't matter. They didn't know,
Yeah.
but I
They knew
was
you
still the
went.
champ. I was the guy.
That's
So it was
awesome. So
pretty,
you
it was
still you
pretty
still you still live there. You have a house there. You have your wife and kids are all there now, or
yeah, man. Definitely. Like during COVID, I had to make a move, um, because just boxing
COVID was
stopped.
crazy, dude. Yeah, it was crazy.
Moved to
Yep.
Tampa. I moved to Tampa. I actually it's a pretty funny story. I was working for remember Equinity Sports, Henry Revolta?
Oh,
You
but I
got
know the
it.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he had a partner that was like a money guy. His name was Gary Jonas, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do now? Like, there's no more boxing. Like this,
It was tough.
I'm looking at army tanks going on the road. People are buying guns because they're worried about people raiding them. Like, what is going on right now? And so I called this guy up, Jonas, and I'm like, look, man, I know you have a rehab over there and you're considered a hospital. I said, I got an idea. What do you think about KO addiction? I said, I can create a gym help with the gym. I can create a program for your patients. I can do nutrition. I can do just boxing training,
Yeah.
and I'll meet those people, I'll adjust to their abilities. Bro, it was a hit. It was a
Yeah.
hit.
Where
I
was
was
this? Was this in Tampa?
It was in Tampa, a little town
Okay.
called Plant City.
Yep. I
There
know
was,
where
there
that's
was a
at.
company called White Sands there. It was a rehab center.
I
And I
sparred in
started,
Plant City.
oh, there you go. And
Connor Coyle.
well, oh, Connor Coyle, yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, Plant City boxing was near. So
Yeah.
you got so we built
Yamaguchi Falco or something too was there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Falcao. I used to manage him.
Yeah.
And we opened up this amazing like, we built it. We built it. Like that team, like Mark Ferre, which is Eric Berlanga's trainer. We built this studio and it turned into Pro Box. And I
Oh.
and then I was one of the owners of Pro Box. So after all
Dang,
these,
bro. You have a
yeah,
hit in
so
everything.
yo, listen, that's crazy. And I brought these group of people, this group from China that created the streaming service for them during COVID, built Pro Box, built the app, built the studio, built them. I did 4 fights during COVID in there in Pro Box. And I was the name. I had my license promotion, Pro Box promotion. Jonas had Pro Box management, and we started the streaming. And a program for the drug center was the drug rehab was KO addiction. And
Brilliant.
and then
Brilliant.
after about a year or so, I'm the kind of person that I needed. I have a team of people that I've brought with me everywhere I've gone. And
Yeah.
so when I went there, I brought G the Cut Man, which is he's a BKFC fighter now, and I brought Eddie Ramirez, which was you know Garner, and I brought fighters, and I did, and it was something where I just felt like I wasn't valued for everything I did. Nothing
Hmm.
wrong, and but people kind of get offended when you feel you're more valuable than what they think you are. And I basically
Yeah.
said, hey, I've done a lot of work here, and for that percentage and for that pay, I'm gonna move on and I'm leaving. And and I did my own thing. I dedicated all, then I put all my time into BKFC, helped build PKFC, bare knuckle fighting championships.
Yeah.
You've seen how it blew
Yeah,
up,
I did. Yeah.
and I built that for 4 or 5. I mean, I knew Dave Feldman way before, but I put a good 5, 6 years into that because it's been legal like 7 years. I helped legalize it in
Yeah.
Florida, get it legalized around the world.
Were you a part owner in BKFC or what?
Yeah, I was a part owner, and I have shares in there. Help everything, every aspect of it, from venue, fighters, production, you name it. I was a big part of it. And that was kind of the same situation. After everything, I analyzed all the time I put in it, and I was like, look,
I want to get
this is
paid.
I want to not only get paid, I wanted to I wanted to branch off. I was willing to keep the name, attach it, and branch off because I had
Hmm.
my team. You got to understand. I
Yeah.
have my production. I have my graphic designers. I have my matchmaker. I have my cut man. I have my, and I just I'm not. I don't, it's not just about me eating. I have a
Yeah.
team, and I
Yeah. You
needed
want your
to
whole
put
team to
my
eat.
team to work.
Yeah.
And my whole team wasn't doing enough there, making enough money there. So if there's nothing where I can grow, you got and I left. One day I said, hey, we're gonna renegotiate or adjust, or we're gonna do things different. And it was like wait, and I said, look, I gotta make a move, and I made a move, and now here we are. I launched Trigon Combat.
And you're part of the Global Combat Collective. I mean, dude, this is cool. I love it. You're building stuff from the ground up, but I want you to be able to build something from the ground up and then be there you're planting all these seeds. You're watering it, but I want to actually let to see you see it grow and blossom year after
Yeah,
year. That's my goal
bro.
for you. Year
Yeah,
after year, I want you a part of that.
listen, I am a believer All right, I'm a believer in the man above.
I love
I'm
that. I always try to talk about this on the podcast too.
I'm a forward thinker. Um, I reek positivity. I I'm a little older, and I don't act on emotion, and I have a lot built in. You know, I find myself hearing something, a lie about myself, because I'm trying to do something on my own, or I see something online that someone says about loyalty or something ignorant. And I get this, and then I just say, I'm doing something that I love. Travis, listen, bro. Global Combat Collective. This isn't a flex, right? This isn't a look at me, look at my chain, look at my
Yeah,
money. I got Deontay Wilder. This isn't about none of that, bro. I got my family here. I got my brother here, my wife, my kids. I pay my son a salary to work for me as a media director. I got my photographer, my videographer, one of my best friends that runs all logistics. I got my aunt, my uncles, my bro. This is my team.
I love that, dude.
I am the happiest I've been, I think, ever in my life. I'm
That's
so blessed.
priceless.
I am so blessed. I don't care what no one says. What I'm living and what I'm feeling right now is unexpressible.
I like that, man.
It just, bro, I'm all smiles. I'm gonna sit and enjoy this fight. My team don't even let me do anything. I
I
never
love it.
talked on podcasts. I never done interviews because I was the guy behind the scene. They're forcing me to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
They
I
want me
love
to
it though,
talk.
man. I'm glad you chose to come on the podcast because I do appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my brand as well. We've had big guests. Like I said, I've had Terrence Crawford, I've had Shane Mosley Jr., I've had Chris Bill Smith over from the UK. I've literally had Giovanni Marquez, up and coming kid. Jorge Carlos, who's fighting on this card, by the way, is on
He's a
there.
beast. Man, what a good kid.
My logo's on
Good.
his trunks, bro. For the Weighing In with Travis Harmon podcast is on his
Oh,
trunks.
he's on his trunks?
Yeah, so I hope
That's
you see it that
awesome.
night. So like he is a great kid. He came on the podcast. I got to meet him in Orlando. And you know that I'm from Kansas City, Missouri originally. So like I'm a Northwest Missouri guy. So like I always love trying to throw back to those people and I love it.
Awesome.
He's doing something good. The whole family seems like a pretty solid family. I don't know them intimately. I don't, but I know
Mhm.
of them and every
Mhm.
interaction I've had with them has been good. So like
Yeah,
I appreciate the kid. I hope they do well because like I said that I got the logo on the trunks and I don't just put that on anybody. So I hope that
yeah.
they do they good represent.
Nah, bro, he's a good kid, and he's working with a good friend of mine, and you know this man, Ryan Ricky.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Ricky's a bro. He's a solid dude. He's a guy that I would like if I'm promoting a fighter, and he's a manager. I'm like I'm signing him.
It's cold.
If I can do those kind of partnership with those kind of people, those are the kind of people in boxing that are real. They're fair because they weren't they came into boxing to fix it, to fill a gap.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kind of people I want to work with. So I want to work with positive people, man. I want to work with people, good people, and I want to work with believers, bro.
So that's what I love that. And I have not came on the pod every single person on the podcast for the almost 5 years I've been doing this podcast. I've always asked my guests, do you believe in God? And
Amen.
so far, I'm lucky. I think I knock on wood every day. I've never had one person yet tell me no. And I don't know how I'd react if they told me they didn't believe in God. I think I'd
Right.
freak out a little bit inside, but I know that I shouldn't because it's their right to whatever believe. But I do believe in God, man. I know that I'm not supposed to be where I'm not supposed to be at. I grew up in a town population 400. I fought at Madison Square Garden. I fought on HBO pay-per-view when Antonio Tarver fought Bernard Hopkins. I've been all over the world, Denmark, France, Australia. Like I've done a lot of really cool stuff that I don't think that a kid that's born and raised in Northwest Missouri, population 400, was supposed to do. Nobody told me that I
Absolutely.
was supposed to do that. My dad believed in me and I did it. So that's why I believe genuinely that boxing was God given, and I believe that everything that I've received and everything that I've benefited from was because of God. Because there's nothing that just make nothing else makes sense to me. Because I'm like, my dad didn't box, none of my brothers boxed. I was the first in the family to box, and I'm just like, why did that happen? I'm like, it's God. Like He's flowing through me. He's giving me
Yeah,
this platform now. I still thank
absolutely.
God every day that I had 170 amateur fights, 46 pro fights. I can still think and I can still speak. Thank God for that too. But I
Yep.
still train people. I have a gym. I do the podcast. I love boxing, man. And I
Me
love having
too.
people like you that are, you genuinely know how blessed you are to do what you do. And you said something that just resonated with me. And I'm getting older too. I'm 41. I'm about to be 42 literally in like 4 or 5 days. July 2nd is my birthday. So
I'm perfect, bro.
there's a lot of things that I used to react out of emotion. Like you talked about that. You hit the nail on the head with that. I've gotten older now and I do still see stupid stuff on the internet. And I'm just like, huh, I'm blessed, dude. I get to come and walk to work. I get to go on a
Yeah,
podcast and talk boxing, which is what I've loved. My eyes light up when I get to talk boxing with boxing people.
yeah, me too.
And I'm just like, what do I have to be mad about? I have a beautiful wife. I have 3 healthy children. Like, there's nothing there's nothing you can do to me right now. There's not, because only person that
Exactly.
could is God, and that's it. I have all the money that I need. I don't have a private jet, no, but I'm okay. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
are too. And guess what you're getting? You're getting to promote Deontay Wilder June 27th in Wichita, Kansas on BLK Prime, part of Global Combat Collective, which I think is a brilliant name too, because what that probably means is that you're also doing other combat sports, not just boxing, correct? You're doing Trigon.
Smart man. Smart
There you
man.
go. So you are an entrepreneur mindset. That's when I created the podcast. I did the same thing. The podcast is named Weighing In with Travis Hartman. It's boxing centric, of course, but I can weigh in on all topics. Like I have MLB players come on the podcast, NFL players. So I want to be able to weigh in on all topics, not just boxing. But you know, I'm a boxing guy, so it's boxing centric. I love having boxing people on the podcast. I love having you on the podcast, dude. I know that it's late. Actually, it's later my time. I'm here in Florida. You're there in Kansas. But
Of
dude, seriously, thank you so much for coming on here and just chatting,
course.
Nelson. I hope that I can have you back on. Honestly, hope to have you back on after this fight happens. It's a blockbuster type of fight. I would love to have you back on and talk about all the awesome stuff, because I know that you probably got some behind the scenes stuff that you really can't talk about, but you do so much stuff, man. So,
I
okay, how
do.
about this? I'm going to throw you one more question then.
Come on,
How
let's
about
go.
this?
I'm up.
Out of all of the years that you've been around combat sports, you've been in bare knuckle boxing, you've been in boxing, you've been a part of a lot of really cool stuff, man. You've been a part of a lot of stuff that less than 1% of the population probably has been part of, right? That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So, do you have any insanely crazy stories that you could tell? Like one that really sticks out from the other, like that you don't see on TV, that you don't really hear about. It might have been an off TV guy or a fighter. Do you have
Yeah.
any one like that always sticks out in your mind if somebody asks you that question immediately? You're like, yeah, I know what it is. Do you have any of those?
I have a lot of them. I have a lot that I can't talk about, and I have some funny ones.
Yeah, you got some
Listen,
NDAs.
yeah, man, there's a lot of you know that boxing, man. There's a lot of hoops you jump through.
It's a
You know,
crazy sport.
there's last minute replacement stuff. There's you know like there's so much in
Is there
boxing
anything you
that
can say without saying names and giving anything away or getting yourself in
um
trouble?
I mean I don't know, like there's so many funny crazy things that happen. Like I remember I don't know. I mean, like, you know, there's a funny story that I was working. I was actually driving for you know, back in the day, Robert, Golden Boy and PBC. You know, that's how they
Yeah.
started, right?
Roberto Diaz, yeah.
Roberto Diaz, and actually, when that started, they went to the East Coast, where Golden Boy never went to the East Coast. But I have a
Yeah.
shirt that said, and I was going to be part of this promotion, Golden Boy East,
Yep. I
and
remember that actually because Bernard Hopkins was going to help with that.
yes,
Yeah, I remember that.
exactly. I have the shirt. I was like showing Robert D. Like, look, I still got that shirt. He's like, what? That's crazy. Golden Boy East, and that's where
That's
the Al
wild.
Heyman and them were together. Well, you know, I was in the middle of helping a promotion in Miami. I was just driving, and then I got into driving, and then I got into matching, and then I got into facility, into the ring, and the DJ. Anyway, long story short, I pick up Paulie Malignaggi. Never met him,
Ollie.
never knew. And during that time, there was a man by the name of Johnny Boz. Do you remember Johnny Boz?
Sounds so familiar.
Man, listen, Johnny Boz is an old school, like legend matchmaker.
From New York or where?
Yes, from New York.
Yes, I
He
do. I
looked like
do.
Hulk Hogan. He dressed like a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he was just calling me like in the middle. Like he grew like this love for me. And he wanted to teach me, and he did. He helped me a lot on the matchmaking and how you find this and how that. And I mean, everybody in boxing, like the old heads, the Trampler, Bruce Tramplers, the Eric Botters, like the John Beninati's of the world. They even Rivas, they all know him.
Yeah.
And he was telling me the story that he used to manage Paulie Malignaggi. Like he helped him as a kid in the amateur, and he built him. And then all of a sudden, Paulie just like left him. I don't know what happened. It wasn't bad blood.
Yeah.
It was just like there was a
Moved
separation.
on.
Right. So I meet Paulie on the picking him up from the airport. And Paulie, he's like, all how he is. And
Yeah,
he's
it's Polly.
talking and he's talking, he's all animated, you know how he is.
Yep.
And I'm like, Paulie, I was talking to a older matchmaker here in town named Johnny Boss. He goes, you know Johnny Boss? And I go, yeah, man. Like I actually talk to him a lot. Like he's an older guy, but he's kind of cool. I like all the stories. He's funny, and he comes to and I help him all the time because he could barely walk, kind of. And he goes, man, I feel terrible, man. I kind of walked away from that guy, and it's kind of like he was limited to how he could help me in boxing, but he was a good guy.
Yeah.
He goes and he helped me. And I said, well, I guess, you got to kind of do what you got to do to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, man, you know what? Tomorrow, let's go eat lunch. I said, all right, let's go eat lunch. So I pick him up in the afternoon and I say, hey, we'll go eat lunch. I got a little break room. When they lunch, he went by the bank and he pulled out like 10 grand, 15 grand. I don't know. He pulled out some bread. He wrapped it up in a bag and he goes, look, man, could you give this to Johnny Boss for me?
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't remember the amount, but it was a good chunk of money. It was the
Yeah.
big thing of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you don't even know me.
Right? But you're
And I'm like,
trustworthy,
listen,
bro.
I said, listen, let me call Johnny while you're here. He goes, no, no, no. Don't want to talk to him. And I want no, just give it to him. Tell him it's from me. I said, stay right here on the phone. Stay right here beside me. I'm calling him. Johnny, man, listen. I met Paulie, man, great guy. He goes, oh man, he's like my son. He had that New York accent,
Yeah.
raspy. Like, yeah. He used to call me Baby Tua. Yeah, Baby Tua.
Oh
Like,
my God, you do look like Tua.
everyone thought I was David Tua. And look at that fight with David Tua fought John Ruiz. Everyone thinks I'm him. I tell people I'm him. Why not? I
You
said, look, that's me
should.
on his box. And I go, listen, I need you to get on a train. I would put him on a train from Tampa to the BB&T Center.
Oh my
And
God,
he
that
missed
sounds
the
south,
train.
right?
Yeah, down south. And he missed the train. Long story short, I got him the money. And he was like, oh man, this is crazy. And he was going through, hardship or problems financially. And who knows what he was going through.
Yeah,
But I got him the money and I told Paulie, he was like, man, thank you so much for that.
that's cool, bro.
And a couple months later, he passed away. He passed away. Like,
That's the story that I want to hear, man. That's the story. That's what I want to hear. Something
but
like that that people don't know.
the people, yeah, and Paulie not knowing me, we just caught a vibe, just talking, and I was explaining to him I like Johnny Boz, and he handed me this money, and I got it to Johnny, and it was like before he passed away, it kind of gave, I guess, it would give a little peace that
Yeah,
yeah, listen, I'm sorry what I did, but here,
right.
so that
Man,
was
that's
a
a really
story
cool story.
that was cool. So if you know Johnny, you need to Google him, Johnny
I don't
Boz.
know him like you know him, obviously, but I
Yeah,
know of that Johnny Boss. I've heard
yeah.
that name before for sure up in New York.
You gotta Google Johnny Bos.
Johnny Boss. I will. That's a great story though, man.
That's
So
cool.
you gotta listen. I want you to God bless you. Many prayers for these fights. Many prayers for both guys to get out of the fight healthy and clear of all any major damages. But I want to see a blockbuster fight, and I pray for that for you for sure, man. And you got a cool undercard there too, because I know you got Jorge Carlos, you got Nico Hernandez, you got a whole bunch of people. There's a couple women on the fight too.
Eric, listen,
And
the girl that's fighting, she took a last minute fight on my last card. Alicia Bond, she took, I mean, I'm talking about poor thing. She flew in the day of the weigh-in. She weighed in, she fought, she lost. And I said, look, I promise you, I'm putting you on a card.
We'll take
When
care
I
of you.
told it, and that happened, she fought in September, almost October, and here we are. I delivered. Came to Wichita where she lives, and she's on the card, so she couldn't
Let's
believe
go.
it.
That's awesome.
Eric Valencia,
Yeah.
phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
He's also with Ryan Rickey, great fighter. Marco Romero, another super heavy, super middleweight, 9-0, great fighter. This is a sleeper. No one knows this kid. I'm saying it now before he, just blows up. Noah Aldana, 140,
Aldana.
135. Bro,
Phenomenal.
yeah, I love that weight division from 130 to 47 within that 19 to 21.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like, that turns into that Terrence Crawford, turns into that
Yeah.
Miguel Cotto. Fire. I would sign all three of them if I could.
Yeah.
Who else we got? I got a couple local guys that fought bare knuckle. We fought each other bare knuckle, and one of them lost, one of them won, and so this is the rematch in boxing.
I like it.
A kid named John Contrail from Topeka.
I do heavyweight, trained by Damon Reed and Craig Cummings. Yes,
There
I
you
know
go.
those guys. I know those guys.
I put him on because he sold a lot of tickets.
Yep, he's a big seller there.
A good businessman too. He's a good
Yep.
promoter. I like him. I like him a
Very
lot.
good believer too.
He's a believer and he's
Yeah.
very honest, a very communicative, professional guy.
Yep.
Shouts out to him. I'm gonna tell you, this is a good one. I put a Cuban fighter by the name Gustavo Trujillo, that is the BKB heavyweight bare knuckle champion. He's 7-0 in bare knuckle. He's 7-0 in boxing. And
Let's
guess who
go.
he's fighting? Latif KO'd.
Oh, I haven't heard that name for a hot minute.
I know. He's not as old as I thought.
Used to be trained by Freddie Roach.
Yes, Latif KO'd. That's on the card. And that's about it. I mean, that's the card right there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Listen, I
can't wait for it.
Yeah, Jeff Page, he fought on Better Beef, didn't he?
He's the first person to drop Better Beef.
Yeah, I watched that up in Canada.
Yes. Well, he's on the card. So he hasn't fought.
Jeff Page on the card. When I knocked out Ahmad Chico, Jeff Page fought on that card. Jeff Page's dad promoted that card. Jeff Page's dad passed away a couple years ago.
Yes, I know.
Unexpectedly, but that's pretty cool, man. That's a pretty cool card. I hope that all my friends back in Northwest Missouri, I have some friends up in Wichita still too, come out, watch these fights. They're on Friday night. I'm sure there's tickets for sale still at the door. Go get those, but also tune in BLK Prime. It's pay-per-view. It's
you can
cheap,
go to ppv.com too. ppv.com.
Pay-per-view.com. Okay.
You can do that. Yeah, do a little drop for me, man. Let everybody know, man. Come watch Deontay Wilder, pay-per-view.com. And support not just me or Deontay, support the local talent, man.
I love it, yeah, because you have a lot of local talent on, and that's what I love about when the Crib Royale and the Box Lab guys have fights here. I'm just like, I love it when you put on Orlando kids because I love that. Same thing there. You're going to Kansas and you're putting on local guys. I respect that, and I love that about promoters when they put on local guys because one, they sell too. The local guys sell, and you're giving them a platform to actually go above and beyond that too. So I love it, man. Nelson, again, dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I definitely want to have you back. I want to hear some stories. I want to get some.
I want to talk to you more later on. Then we'll talk again after this.
Yeah.
We'll schedule something, but I want to really zone into my journey of Trigon combat.
I love it.
I want to get in that. I want to zone
100%.
into my journey on BKB and bare knuckle fighting.
Let's go.
And I want to offer you, fighters from there to come on the podcast. Let's broaden that combat space. I got really, really like big hitters in the combat and in the bare knuckle world that I can bring to you.
I love it, man. Let's do that for sure. Stay on here. I'm going to stop recording here in a second here, but stay on here. We'll chat real quick after this too. But I just want to wrap this up. Thanks for coming on Weighing In with Travis Hartman. We have Nelson Lopez Jr., who is the Global Combat Collective promoter. I mean, the guy does everything. He wears he's a jack of all trades, and we know this. But thanks for coming on, Nelson.
You got it, brother. Thank you.
Dude, you're the man.